Now, Alex is a phenomenal photographer. And he takes out his digital camera and he starts showing me frame after frame after frame of that memorial along the Danube River. And my mouth dropped open. I stood there in shock because along the Danube River today, you have a whole row of empty shoes. Shoes of parents, shoes of grandparents, and shoes of little children, all representing those that are no longer here that were killed along the Danube River. I said, Alex, don't tell anybody about this. We're going to go there tomorrow. He says, I want to tell you something. I never told you this. He said, my mother was on that line. I said, what are you talking about? He said, it was before I was born. My mother and my older sister were on that line. My mother was about to get shot. Except that Raoul Wallenberg came down and he had 10 visas. And the Germans, Yamach Shemom, they were very exact. They said, you got 10 visas, you could take off any 10 people you want. And he went up and down and he took off the line, the youngest women and their children. And my mother was one of them. That's why my mother was saved. I said, Alex, we're going to go there tomorrow. We're going to tell everybody this story there tomorrow. And the next day, sure enough, we all went together. I told everybody what happened along the Danube River, why we were going, but I didn't tell them about that memorial. And when we walked off that bus and we walked along the Danube River and saw those shoes, I cannot tell you the crying. I cannot tell you the emotion of seeing those empty shoes, especially the shoes of the little children. There was such crying, and there was such davening, there was such saying of Tillim. I remember, I have a dear friend, Yaakov Solomon. He came and he was singing, he was playing with his guitar, some moving melodies. Al Narois Bovel Shom Yashavnu Gam Bachinu B'Zachrenu Es Tzion. Another year we went back with a guy, Avram Levitt. It was absolutely incredible. You know, I came back after that first year. I could not stop talking about the trip, and I could not stop talking about the shoes. And then a couple weeks later, my Rav, Rab Shlomo Tannenbaum, comes over to me and he says, you know, in our shul, obviously on Yom Kippur, we're going to say Yizkor. I need you to make the appeal on Yizkor. I said, okay, fine, good, I'll be happy to do that. And so on Yom Kippur, right before Yizkor, I got up and I said to everyone, I told them the story that happened along the Danube River. And I told them, you know, something shocking happened in our shul, Rosh Hashanah. And everybody's wondering, what happened Rosh Hashanah? They all davened with me in shul. They didn't see anything special happen. And I said, not only that, it happened the second day as well. And everybody's looking at me, what happened the second day? And the first day? And then I told them what happened along the Danube River. And I told them that where I daven in shul, up front on Rosh Hashanah, I daven just like everybody else. But I sit near the front of the shul, and after Musaf, when you had Birchas Koyanim, my head was over my talis, and after Birchas Koyanim, I took the talis off my head. And I looked around at the Aron Kodesh, and I saw a whole row of empty shoes. Shoes of parents, shoes of grandparents, and shoes of little children. I could not look at those shoes, especially the shoes of the little children. Of course, those were the shoes of the Koyanim that had just blessed all of us. I put my talis over my head because I was reminded of those shoes along the Danube River. And then the next day, on the second day of Yom Tov, of course, I was expecting those shoes again. And I could not stop staring at them. And I was thinking, what's the difference between those shoes along the Danube River and these shoes here in Shul? And the answer, of course, is that in a few moments, Lebedika people, living people, would walk into these shoes and they would be able to go and learn Torah and do mitzvahs and go and daven. But those shoes along the Danube River, they remain empty forever. And I believe that it's our obligation while we are in this world to fill those shoes. Because it's not 6 million that died. 6 million is the least of it. Every one of those could have had children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So it's not 60 million, it's not 6 million, it's 60 million. Because of all the children and grandchildren that could have been born from those people. That's what our obligation of Kiruv is all about. We have to bring back all those people that can fill those shoes, all those empty shoes of Jews that are no longer in this world. We have to bring back Jews to authentic Yiddishkeit. That's what Ura is all about. Bringing home these children to the Torah heritage of their parents and grandparents. It really is a special honor for me to be able to speak on behalf of this organization. But I would like to encourage every single one of you to get involved in Kiruv. Get involved in the passive way of Kiruv. Just remember everything that you do, every place that you daven, every time you do a mitzvah, every business act that you do, people watch and people know. So you have a responsibility of Kiruv and making it a Kiddush Hashem. But we can't do it all. There are many great organizations, and Ura is one of the greatest. And if we support Ura, then in a sense we are involved in active Kiruv. And so it is my hope that all of us will get involved in helping Ura continue their great work so that they should be able to bring back not thousands, but tens of thousands of children and their parents, and this way be zeicha to welcome Mashiach so that we can all go to Eretz Yisrael, B'Korov. Again, I thank you for inviting me, and I thank you for listening.
I used to go to public school, and then Ura sent me to Yeshiva Academy to learn to read and to daven and to do mitzvot.
My children at the time were going to public school in Toms River, New Jersey, which you definitely don't see a yarmulke in there. And through the coaching and through the help from Rabbi Bear, we actually made the commitment. It was the third week in August of 2008 where we decided that's it. We're flipping the coin, and we cancelled public school. We pulled all our kids out, and through the help of Ura and their programs, we were able to get the kids into Shalom Torah.
My son Adir, I think he was one of the first kids to go to the summer camp, Ura, and in the beginning he didn't want to go at all. He fought with me because he went to a boy and girls school, and he wanted to go to a boy girls camp. And then after he started going to the camp, it was time for him to graduate from elementary school, from 8th grade to go to 9th grade. We started looking for schools. We applied for a few schools. He got accepted in one of Long Island's very, very good school. Also boys, but all of a sudden, in the middle of the way, he came to me and he told me, I want to go to a real yeshiva. And I didn't know which yeshiva he was looking at. I asked him which yeshiva. He goes, Mir Yeshiva, and that's like a black hat yeshiva.
We had the opportunity to have a summer with Ura, and my sons walked away with so much that they learned throughout the summer. They've taught me a lot of things myself.
My favorite camp is Girl Zone. It's a nice camp, and the staff is so nice. They make you feel at home. When I go home, I'm like, I'm home. I feel like I was home already. We love Boy Zone!
It's so much fun. I made so many friends from all over the world, and it's just the best experience in the world.
Ura's Boy Zone rocks! Yes! I just want to talk about how special Shabbos is in Girls Zone. It's amazing. You really don't know how special the feeling is there because everyone is singing, everyone's in such a good mood. It's so special. Everyone has a certain feeling of Shabbos, and it's just so great here.
This is just so inspirational. We only have 3 or 4 families that keep Shabbos by us. And to sit here at Havdalah and put your arms around people and sing and cry out to Hashem and hear and feel the warmth of everything. We light the Shabbos candles every Friday night and we dream about being in this situation and saying prayers. We always say prayers. My daughter makes a list of all the people who are sick, and it's so beautiful to be here.
Shabbaton's at Ura, it makes me keep Shabbos. It's amazing, the atmosphere, everyone just sings, dance, it's amazing. I love it. I just couldn't really imagine not going to Ura Shabbaton. And if you don't come to Girls Zone, if you don't do these things, you're going to miss out on it.
Thank you, Ura, for everything you've done for us. During Sukkot, I needed a lulav and etrog. You sent us a package and we just needed one. And when it was Hanukkah, you sent us a party package with everything we need for Hanukkah.
Ura's awarded us with a sukkah. So we got to experience our very first Sukkot in a sukkah. I think we were the only sukkah in 40 square miles, so it was really exciting, and my sons got a lot out of it.
After a beautiful Havdalah, we just came back to learn with Avram Biederman. I'm enjoying it so much. It's really opening my eyes to what true Torah learning really is.
It's the faith that I've developed, and my many thanks to my teacher, Mrs. Shenek, and also to Chani Miller, who has been able to provide me with the tools so that I could learn and expand and, of course, create this beautiful Jewish home that my children are growing in.
To say we've been growing more, keeping kashrus now, keeping kosher meat, and we just feel so empowered. We're just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And the Rebbitzins, everybody makes you feel so warm that you just want to keep growing in Yiddishkeit. And my daughter, this is her first year in yeshiva, and she's learning Hebrew, and it's just such a beautiful thing for her to get into it. And the rabbis from Uber, everybody calls us, checks up on us, makes sure we live so far away, but yet we feel like we're so close and connected. So thank you very, very, very much.
One of the biggest things for me personally that I got out of this was I regained my balance. I decided not so many hours at work, more hours with the family, more hours at home, more balance, learning the Chumash. And through Josh's help and conversation, something switched inside of me personally, where I realized that I don't have control. I realized that this comes from a higher, it really does come from a higher level, and I truly do believe that. And after I made that decision to say, it is what it is, I don't write the law, you know what, I don't have any stress anymore.
Baking challah and singing songs and trying to light candles for Shabbos every week has definitely affected our relationship. It's changed it dramatically. I've become a much better daughter, mother, friend to everyone I know, basically, because my entire life has changed.
Ura shows everyone who are here this Shabbat that being a Jew, it's not just work, it could be also fun. And fun for the kids, and fun for us, of course. And when it's fun, it's easier to understand a lot of things about our religion. And I really like the approach that Ura showed us. It's totally different than what we know, just going to the shul and davening every day. This is a very, very different experience, and it's a positive one.